Welcome to Bourbon and Badges, the podcast, live in Studio 77 from Gastonia, North Carolina, and Calabash, the voice of the uncommon people.
Remember the uncommon people, for God's sakes.
Welcome to Bourbon and Badges, the podcast, season 7, episode 3, the voice of the uncommon people. And we have Rodinator, Hound Dog, Slow Ride, and myself, Dody Dawg. Who knows?
Okay, how come I'm always last during all these introductions?
He just said himself was last.
Yeah,
Goofball.
Just looked at your picture.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that glare coming off right there was getting me.
He saves the oldest for last.
It was the glare. It was the glare.
I'm like whiskey, man. The older it is, the better it is.
Well, I want to first to welcome back. First to welcome back Dody Dawg. That's Dody Dawg,
Yeah,
folks.
man.
If you guys forgot who he is, there's the Dody
Glad to have
Dawg.
you back,
Glad to
buddy.
be back.
Yeah,
Glad to be
buddy.
back.
Yeah, man.
Glad to be back.
Missed you. Now my face is smaller, so that pisses me off. But I'm okay with that. I'll live with it.
Is that possible?
It's big. It's big enough as it is. Like I said, look at that forehead.
Look at that damn melon.
All right, guys. So, episode 3, moving along. I know it's cold as shit here for the next week. We're getting into teens. I know Hound Dog's probably not. Well, you might be even at the beach. They're supposed to get cold, isn't it? Hound Dog?
Oh, your
Yeah.
guys supposed to get snow, man, this coming week.
Yeah, forecast Tuesday, late Tuesday, early Wednesday. They call for 6 to 8 inches of snow here.
Okay.
And we're not getting anything in the mountains that week. Now
And
I'm
I
getting
hope-
6 inches at the time we're taping this. It's snowing. Supposed to get 6 inches tonight, but not on
I
Tuesday
hope
and
it
Wednesday when
don't
you
do
guys are going to
nothing.
get hit.
Today was a nice 58 degrees out today.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
Well, we're filming on taping, whatever you want to call this, on the 19th. So tomorrow, I just want to give a shout out to President-elect Trump getting sworn in less than 24 hours to fix this fuglied up country that Biden's going to leave us. So I'm excited. I can't wait. He has 200 executive orders ready to be signed to change things, turn things around, hit the ground running. So congratulations to him. I hope everything goes well.
I do too, man. And I'm not a Biden fan, but I'm here to say I am tired of hearing everybody still crashing on Biden, about everything. He's gone. Let him go.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Yeah.
let him fade off into the sunset.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Yeah,
man.
and just
already
for some other good news, I'll just touch on it. 3 female hostages were released by Hamas today, and we know why, because Trump said if the hostages don't start getting released, all hell's going to break loose when I'm
Hey,
sworn in.
did y'all guys see?
24 hours before he's sworn in, hostages have been released.
Yeah.
So-
Did you
and
see
he also
though,
saved
Biden's?
TikTok.
Did you see Biden come on and give a speech about
Yes.
that?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, and he gave Trump his dues.
But he also said, I put this in place in May. Yeah, and it's been dead since May. The only reason it came back alive again is because Trump sent his envoy there and told him, this you better take the deal, because if not,
Yeah, this is going to end one of two ways.
it's going to end real badly. Yeah. So anyway, we want to go down that rabbit hole right slow. No politics.
Okay.
Let's go. So folks,
For
today
4
we're
more
going
years,
to
4 more years.
exactly. So we're going to talk about a few things today, guys. I think we decided we're going to talk about a couple of shootings. One in Alabama. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We also have a new type of theft. I guess you would say theft deterrent in New York, where the turnstiles are equipped with spikes. So did you ever see how people jump over the turnstiles with putting both hands on each side?
In the subway?
Well, they're putting spikes up there so they can't. I like it. It's aggressive. I didn't think
Yeah,
New York
man, they want that
I didn't think
quarter.
New York would do that. But the problem is when people say, a lot of people say, well, now they can just slam people's heads into it now when they rob them. So anyway, we'll talk about that.
Could happen.
It's not that New York don't want to prevent the crime; they just want the revenue.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting aggressive.
Well, they're
'cause it's
saying
money.
they're losing $7 million or $700 million a year.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll
People
talk about
jump
it. You guys are jumping ahead. Hey, we also got 6 people shot. Guess where?
Gastonia?
Chicago. Well, Gastonia too, of course, but Chicago.
Hey, jackass!
As usual. Touch base a little bit on Britain again is lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Britain's lost. They are not even reporting the ethnicity of criminals anymore up there because it's all leaning one way. We'll talk about that. And last but not least, if we have time, the Biden pardon train keeps rolling. He gives clemency to a man who killed a police officer, and Governor Youngkin in Virginia is livid. So, folks, you like any of that stuff? Hang in there. We're going to be talking about it all.
Yep. But
Cool.
first,
But first, of course, let's get the important things out of the way. What are you alcoholics drinking tonight? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, bullet bourbon from me. Sorry.
Boom, bulletproof.
I'm just bulldozing the boat,
You just-
the whole show.
What? Go ahead, Rod.
I'm good. That's it. I'm drinking Bullet. We know what it's about. It's a nice little rye. I'm good. Go ahead. Hound dog.
Yeah,
Sorry
bullet
about
is
that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking
Old
Old
Raleigh.
Raleigh. That is
Okay.
one of the coolest bottles that I own.
It looks. You know what it reminds me of? The I Dream a Genie bottle that
It
she used
does.
to pop out of because I'm
Yeah, it
old
does.
and I watched that show.
And this, right quick, this is a North Carolina product. Guess where?
North Carolina.
Ding, 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 Raleigh. It's 93 proof. It's a blended from 5 different places across the country: Colorado, North Carolina, Tennessee, Indiana, and somewhere else. I can't remember the other one. But
Okay.
it's price point $77.
Nice. You like it?
I'm getting ready to tell you. Hold on one second.
All right.
Yep, I like it.
There you go. There you go. $70.
Yeah,
I guess it's not a daily because it's
Yeah,
a
we
little
didn't see that
expensive,
coming.
No,
right?
it's
Right, Hound dog?
well. If I had the
You call it. You call it. Don't let
if
me
I had
influence
a choice between this one and say a Costco brand, like the Kirkland Costco brand, I'd probably pick the Kirkland.
you. Okay.
Really?
Okay.
But this is good. But I like.
Is
I
it,
think
is
I
it
like
a daily
Kirkland.
drinker?
To me, well, let me see one more time.
All right. Way to leave a lot of silence in the podcast there, Hound Dog.
The suspense is
That's why we're relying on you jokers to have to carry me. I would say this particular one here is not a daily drinker.
not a daily drinker.
The bottle is
right,
better than a whiskey.
And to set that for our listeners, anytime, first-time listeners, we rate our whiskey from 0 to 10. 10 is the best thing in the world. 0, you pull down the toilet. 7 for us would be a daily drinker. Anything less than 7 would not be a daily drinker.
And this one will be a 5.
And some of the characteristics besides taste, its price point, etc.
Yeah.
So a few things go into determining whether it's a daily drinker. Okay.
Yeah.
Dobie or Slow? Who's next?
Go ahead, Dobie.
Hold on. Old Forester.
A little bit higher.
1890
A little bit higher. There you go. Boom. Old Forester, folks.
1897. 100 proof.
So it's bottled and bond, right?
Bottled and bond. It is a 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. And it is, let's see, palate is rich vanilla, coffee, dark fruit, and mature oak. Finish is deep fruit spice and notes of layered over dark caramel and vanilla, big and bold. It also has some, did I say coffee and caramel?
You did.
It's good. I like it. Price point's about 52 to 55, somewhere in that ballpark. It's got a little bite to it. It's because it's 100, but I would drink it on a daily.
Okay.
I would drink it on a daily. Yeah,
Okay, so you give it a 7 or higher, huh?
yeah, about a 7. Yeah,
7 round up.
it's
Okay.
got a little bite, but a little more than what I normally do. But it's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
good
Old
deal.
Forester. Okay.
Yeah.
Slow.
All right, man. I am sticking to winter. You know, it's 6 inch snow post fall tonight. Already had like 3 inches on the ground, and it is winter. And I am drinking this Winter Reserve.
Winter Reserve.
Jim Beam, Winter
Yeah, with
Reserve.
Jim Beam. Yeah, it's $30 price points, aged 6 years. It's finishing 2. Not 1, but 2 different toasted barrels.
There was some overtones with that finger, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
86 proof.
I feel
and,
some overtones.
It's got a very dry finish. It's pretty good. It's talking to the guys here at the ABC store. You know, it says really heavy on cinnamon notes of it, but I don't pick that up at all. It's supposed to have
What's the
notes of
proof?
vanilla and cinnamon.
What was the proof?
86 proof.
Oh, it's kind of
Yeah, it tastes like a Jim Beam product, and but
Okay.
it finishes really, really dry. Almost you need like drinking some water after because your mouth just dries right up.
Oh,
I'd rate it probably 4 on a scale of 1 to 10.
What was the price point again?
About $30, $28, I think.
$30. Okay. Well, ain't too bad. A little expensive for buck, but you know.
Yeah.
True.
And
Very true.
and during our pre-podcast meeting, we had to look it up, make sure we pronounced it right. Who was it? Who was the hound dog? Told you what the correct pronunciation of the linens? Linens.
Serious?
Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Serious
the
sister.
difference between a toasted barrel and a char barrel. Char, has 1 to 4 char. Char being the alligator char, which gives all the flavor and stuff from the barrel. Well, they do that to age the whiskey. Then they finish it off in a toasted barrel, which is burnt at a lower temperature but for a longer amount of time. If it makes sense, gives you different tasting notes, but nothing that I can pick up.
Okay. Cool.
All right,
Hey,
man. So
real quick, Slow. Weather up there, and how's everybody doing up there? Because I don't want to forget about Western North Carolina mountains.
yes,
All the focus is on L.A., and that's fine because L.A. people need help too. I get it, and regardless of how you feel about it. But Western North Carolina feels been forgotten. It's really cold, and people are still having issues. How's everything going?
as a side note, remind me after the podcast, give the information you asked about last week.
Okay.
I've got that. I just haven't think about it. It's good, man. We're getting down to 8 degrees one night, 7 degrees Tuesday and Wednesday. I think 8 and 7 is low.
Right.
Getting a ton of snow right now at my elevation, but down by the rivers where most people are impacted, it's not snowing as badly. But man,
How
we
much
still got
snow you
people in
got up there?
tents.
Did you say 3 inches? What'd you say?
I had about 3 inches, getting another 6 inches tonight.
Okay.
So,
okay. And you're good
yeah,
to
but
go, right? You're good to go.
I am good to go, man. I am. Each event up here prepares me better for the next. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm getting seasoned.
hardened up.
Yeah, man, I'm getting
You
seasoned.
used to be a soft old retired guy. Now you get to be a weathered
Mountain
mountain man.
Weather and beating,
Yeah.
looking for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's going to start trapping stuff.
Yeah. His skin's getting leathered and
You know, it's
rough.
funny. It's funny that you say that because I have been looking at that very thing. A dear friend of our podcast, Gary Johnson, he used to own, if he still doesn't, Critter PI.
Yep.
And I've been meaning to call him, just seeing what it takes to actually get in and all that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I understand it's pretty. You got to go through, I think, the health department or something, and something. It's pretty in depth stuff you got to go through. So I think he had to go to Raleigh to get his certification and all this
Really?
stuff. Yeah, I think it's pretty because there's a lot of a lot of ins and outs to it. I think from what I understand.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, man, keep these people there in your hearts and your prayers, man, because like I said, there are people living in tents dealing with all this stuff. And
That's incredible. It's incredible.
it's I went to drove from here to Burnsville, and then to Marion today and back, and the devastation is still just unbelievable. It's coming along. It's looking better, man, but it's unbelievable.
I watch a lot of news, and I just don't hear it mentioned anymore. And
Yeah, you don't.
And I know it's because everybody's concentrating on the LA stuff, which was a total debacle, and there's some human error there. We won't get into it, but Western North Carolina was none of the people just living their lives. There's nothing they could do.
Normal people, not taking anything away from LA.
No,
But these are
I'm
$1 million
not.
mansions that's getting burned down up there.
Right.
Yeah,
Have
these-
insurance.
Right.
Yeah, and I seen a meme that's pretty good. It said, hope the celebrities out there can get by on at $750 from FEMA.
Yeah. Well, Biden came out and said they're going to pay 100% of everything up there for the first several months, which he didn't do for North Carolina. That
Well,
was
imagine
No,
just
that.
no,
thing.
totally
It's
ignored
really-
us.
It just goes to show, man. He's taking care of his people. But that's another whole story. But all right, you want to jump in and
Yeah, man.
and talk
Yeah,
this?
what are we talking about tonight, man?
Dody Dawg sent some stuff out about a shooting in Alabama. Dody, you want to lead? You want me to lead it out for you?
You go ahead and start off, and I'll finish it up.
All right. Well, a man, and this is not uncommon because I have a personal story with this. Man attempts to shoot up Alabama police station.
Yep.
Officers returned fire and laid him out deader than shit.
Good.
for them.
Yep.
No officers were harmed in it. From what I understand, it's in Florence, Alabama. Apparently, he actually just showed up at the precinct, and he started shooting from the parking lot. And officers basically returned fire and laid him out. It happened at 5:30 on January 15th. Florence Department, a little bit distance from Birmingham. If everybody knows what Birmingham is, it's close to Birmingham.
About 115 miles.
Yeah, not too
Florence
bad.
is not. Florence is a nice little town.
Is it?
It's a college town.
Well, kudos to the
really?
bad guy. He didn't pick soft targets, so good for him. I think he just wanted to die.
And it went quick. And that's why they don't pick. Usually they don't pick these hard targets because
Yeah.
you get killed quick. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Dobie, anything you want to add? Anything going on?
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about it, and evidently he had called 911 and said he was on his way. I got
Oh, well, there you go.
Well,
Now,
said
how
it-
far is that
said he
from you,
was there.
Dobie?
An hour and a half, hour 15 minutes, give or take. I've been up there a couple times. There's some nice lakes and things around there. It's a small college down there. It's a nice little town. So it's evidently, I'm guessing it may have been some kind of suicide by cop. I don't know.
That's what
But
it sounds
he called
like.
he called 911 to start with, and he, true to his word, showed up and they lit him up.
I have 2 stories I can touch on that if you guys want me to run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. man.
So we were changing out shift change in a parking lot. Now our team office when I was an officer was in a shopping center.
They're in Charlotte, Mech.
Charlotte,
Mecklenburg County.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Yep. Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. Yep. Eastway Division used to be Charlie 2. It's on the east side of Charlotte. So we're changing out in the ungated parking lot, basically just a Food Line type Winn-Dixie parking lot, and at the end there's our office. So there's no gates, there's no security. You walk out in the parking lot and there's riffraff everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we're out there changing out, and a Jeep Cherokee, which was the choice of stolen vehicles for a while back in the
Yeah.
day. When I say back in the day, I'm talking about after 1995, but before 2000, like right in there, I think it happened when
Yeah.
I was working.
I remember that.
So they fired at us, and we were like, "Oh shit," So got down, slammed the trunks back, and just got back in the cars, and we had a 125 mile per hour chase up a
wow.
road called Independence Boulevard.
Oh yeah, that's like the main thoroughfare through.
That's one of them. Yeah,
Charlotte.
it's Highway
Thoroughfare.
74.
Yeah,
Yep,
thoroughfare.
Highway 74. And so chasing up and down there, they went all the way up. Then U-turn came back down. So we were on Independence Boulevard at like third shift change. So like 10 at night, and they headed over to the west side. And the funny thing that happened was, the reason I'm mentioning is because, well, one, it matches this because the precinct was shot up. But when we got over to the west side, these guys decided to go off road. So they riding through a neighborhood. I was a second or third car. I forget, it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And they went in between a house and a tree, if you could picture it, almost like a field goal. So the vehicle's driving, right? House is on the right, trees on the left. The driver had the door half open, like they always do. Guys, when they open the door, like they're gonna get ready
Get
to
ready to
run.
run. Yeah.
Right. Well, the driver had his door open, and the other guy the passenger had his door open, and the driver decided to stop right next to the tree, which closed the passenger's door on the passenger's leg.
Good.
So stopped, everybody bails, but that guy couldn't go anywhere. So I'm running. I run up to the car, and I look in the car, and I see him. I draw down, and I see him, and he's like, and he's going crazy. He goes, my leg, move the car. I said, no can do. And I went after the other guys because I knew he'd be there when we got back.
Yeah.
So we went, and since the chase went on for so long, everybody heard us calling in where we were. So there actually were officers coming in the opposite direction towards us. So these guys were running into cops and getting laid out. Boom, 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 boom. Then we come back to the Cherokee, and that guy's still in there yelling. And we actually didn't move the car because at that point, his leg was damaged to the point where if we did it, he might bleed out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you let the car. So we're like, hey, we're not first responders. We had to wait for the first responders, and they got him out of there. But it was like I like that kind of stuff because it's like karma. You want to do this kind of shit?
Yep.
Well, this shit happened. So talk to your boy. He's the one who jacked your leg up when you get out of jail. If you're walking with a stump, But that was
You gotta love your buddies.
Yeah.
So
That was a good chase.
I tell you, kind of goes along with that. We had one, and I believe it was Lowell, came into the city and chased one. Imagine that. So they chased the guy. And he had broken into a rent-a-center, little appliance rental store, and nobody really had. We got an alarm, but nobody had checked on scene yet. So Lowell's over near Walmart, and they see a car speeding, going like 100 miles an hour. So they turn around and start chasing. And they start chasing it, and it wrecks up near the old Crampton Golf Course. You know where that is up on? Going out of town.
Yep.
And they
All right,
all
now
bail
set
and
the
run.
scene. Now, you saying Lowell and Crampton. Tell our listeners, what is that little small towns right outside of Gastonia, inside of Gaston County,
Lowell-
North Carolina?
Yeah, Lowell and Crampton.
I
are
think you
little
just
small
told them.
towns. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. They just, So anyway, when they start chasing them, and they wreck, and the same thing happens. Pretty much what Rod says. They chase them, couple runs in the woods. We ran some tracks, so on, with a dog, so on and so on. But when they get to the car, the kid in the back seat, that's just going when the big screen TVs were a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's heavy back then too.
Yeah, heavy. So, so they get it. They go to clear the car, and the kid that was in the back seat was laying there behind the TV. And they wrecked. The TV has slid, snapped his neck. He's done, dead, done.
Wow. The RT
DRT.
right there.
Same, yeah. So he said he's the back passenger, and everybody else bells and runs, and he's done.
Wow. Okay. Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So
But had he not been
Hey,
still on
instead of
TV,
being live on TV, he was dead on TV.
yeah, pretty much. If you wouldn't have been doing that, you wouldn't have had that problem.
yeah.
You would have been stealing TVs with your buddy, breaking into stores. You would never have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good point, Slow, earlier. They don't hit hardened targets like that because they get dead real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to come up. So, good story, though. Yeah, I liked my story with the guy with the leg, man. That was great. It was very satisfying. We had a great breakfast that morning, after the
Talking
trip
about
was
it.
over. Talking about it. Saying, did you see us? Like, did you hear him screaming, what a bitch? And we were just having a good time. Shoot at us, will you? We were all talking shit.
Yeah.
So, that was good. So, it was a good story. But anything else, guys, on that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to go? Cool, man. I like this one because I'm from New York. All right, guys, let's go into the turnstile spikes that have been installed to stop the people from avoiding the turnstiles on the subway. Couple little notes on that. Finally, Hochul did this, but, Hochul's a liberal fool. But this is real aggressive, but it's because of money, as somebody mentioned earlier when we were talking about it. It's all about money. She's spending $77 million to clamp down on subway crime. Why? Because of money, not because she cares about anybody.
Oh yeah.
So what they're doing is they're putting these spikes.
There it is, right there.
Folks on listening, I'm holding up a picture. It's basically like you can't put your hands on it. It looks like a like a saw blade.
Oh yeah, you're saying for everything. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, in the upward position. And what they do is they're on either side of the toll of the turnstile. What they used to do is they used to put their hands on either side and leap over the turning turnstile. Now they can't because there's spikes there. And the reason for this is some of the numbers they said here. Hochul said Hochul, again, the governor of New York, who took Cuomo's spot when he got run out of town. Said fare evaders cost the MTA, that's the transit system down there, $700 million per year in lost revenue.
Wow.
And $500 million of it is the subway system, and the other $200 million is the bus system. So they're cutting down on that. That she's justifying the $77 million for setting this up. I don't have a problem with it. It's good because they do it all the time. Kids just hop the turnstiles and they avoid paying to ride the subway. Do
we know what the cost of riding the subway is now?
Oh, I went up there not too long ago. You can just get a card, a subway card, and you could ride the subway basically for $25. You can go up and down the line, $25, $30.
Oh,
and
cool.
you can use it as much as you want up and down the line for that day, and stuff like that. Or I forget how long the card lasts. I think when I went up to visit, was it?
Did you have to buy your card because of those spikes, or?
No, they weren't there yet. Yeah, because of those spikes. Yeah, because I hopped those sons of. Hey, I'm not saying I didn't hop them sons of bitches occasionally when I was younger, so anyway, what do you guys think about that? The spikes are pretty aggressive. It's.
I don't think they're aggressive enough. I think they'll figure a way around it.
I think you might be right. But you know what? A side caveat to this it might stop some of these really bad people from being down there as much, like the homeless.
Yeah,
if
true.
they can't hop, and maybe it would cut down on people setting people on fire. The Guatemalan guy who set the woman on fire, and all these people sleeping down there.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't get past that turnstile to sleep on the pad or push people off the pad, you know how they've been pushing people onto the tracks.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll cut down a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it'll have some good repercussions, and not only make them money, but also some good repercussions.
Yeah, so they're going after revenue, but it may have a sidebar of lowering a little bit of crime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think it could. I think it could do that, and that's always a good thing. So I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. It's a long overdue because when Giuliani was mayor, the subways. You remember all the graffiti all over them and stuff like that? And he cleaned all that crap up. He made it graffiti-free trains. And he did a great job. And then it's just been going downhill since. And, with all the open border now and all these illegal immigrants in New York, especially because it's a sanctuary city, the totality of all these people, so they got to do something because they're just getting raped down there. I mean, people are just abusing the system.
Yeah.
And I guess they're kind of waking up a little bit, guys. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're exactly right. I think it's a good thing. It's just going to bring more revenue. It's going to cut down on crime, being the sidebar of it. But yeah, man,
you're gonna cut down on some of it. You're gonna maybe like you're talking about, Rob, but also you maybe cut down on some people who maybe just kind of maybe younger kids or maybe just doing something stupid that they.
What about midgets?
Yeah.
Can you
They
walk
just walk
underneath
under-
them? Can you walk underneath them?
They got
They can. I think they can. They need to put some maybe I don't know. Maybe some low-lying bar with spikes in it. So if they duck their head to go under, they get spiked in the head.
How about a giant
bad?
giant bear trap? We could
Yeah,
down
one
like
of the classic bear traps.
Yeah, put about crotch level.
Yeah.
then you kill two birds with one stone. They don't reproduce.
True.
Yeah, I don't think
Very
they do
true.
anything after that because I think they're going to bleed out right down the track, boy. But yeah, so that ought to help a little bit down there. But I'll tell you, it's just a mess, man. You walk into those subways, and I just went. What was it? I went about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago was the last time I really went up there and rode the subways. And it's just a urine smelling, shit covered. I mean, it's terrible. You don't even want to wait. After you ride the subway, you take your shoes off before you walk in your house. Like you don't want any.
I'm kind of surprised New York's governor did that. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah.
they did.
It's only for
she-
revenue, brother.
Oh yeah.
Well, she got on the same page with because it's all run. New York's run by Democrats in the House, in the Senate too. All that. So they get together and they say, "Listen, we need money." Well, it's kind of aggressive. Well, we need money. Okay, that overrides the aggressive part. So let's do it because money's it, man.
Yeah.
So
That's the bottom line.
yeah.
That's why the four of us get together once a week. Big bucks.
Yeah,
Big bucks.
Yeah, oh yeah, making all our followers, we're making all this money.
Hit the like
Yeah.
subscribe button.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, moving on, guys. Near and dear to my heart, Chicago.
Oh,
Six people shot in 6 hours.
The Windy
That's one
City.
an hour. That's a little better than Jackass Chicago showing. Jackass Chicago showing about an hour and 40 minutes. Sometimes somebody shot, but this was 6 hours. And of course, the mayor of Chicago, this moron, which we thought would be better than Beetlejuice. I'm showing a picture of him right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, he's better looking than Beetlejuice.
Has turned out, dude, he's such a, his name is Brandon Johnson, and he literally goes to community meetings and people yell at him now. And I'm talking black people, white people, it doesn't matter. They're all yelling at him like, what do you, and it's all about the illegal immigration and the crime and so forth. Before the illegal immigrant was a problem, it was gangs. So now you have gangs and illegal immigrants and illegal immigrant gangs. So, like, it's just multiplying there, and he's not changing course at all.
And it's going to get worse. We're taping on the 19th. Trump's inauguration is on the 20th. After that, man, all the people don't be deported is going to go to these sanctuary cities.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're not going to be saved, though, because Tom Holman, the guy Trump put in charge of deporting them, he's starting in Chicago.
Oh,
he
good.
says that he doesn't have to help, but if he tries to impede us in any way, that's a felony, a federal felony, and he gives the statute, and he says, I will prosecute him. I'm like, wow. How pleasant is that, you know?
Yeah,
That's
good.
Because you guys know sanctuary cities are illegal, right? Like, they're illegal right in front of your face.
Yes,
you can't
now-
do that.
And that's on the state level, so it didn't affect the federal level at all, right?
No,
So-
it's federal. No, it's federal. A sanctuary city is federal. It's a state saying we're not going to abide by federal law.
Yeah, I understand
about
this.
that?
They're saying us as states, we're not going to, we're not
Right.
enforcing
We're
this
not
as a
gonna-
state.
we're not
But
gonna
now
force-
the feds can come in and enforce the federal law on top of that.
Right, but the states say they're going to fight it, and what he's saying is if the states try to impede us in any way, the statute reads if you impede or try to hide an illegal blah blah blah, it's a felony, and that's what
Now-
he's going to charge anybody. He says it's okay for the mayor not to help us, but his argument is it's easier for us to go to a jail and pick up an illegal immigrant who's already been processed and take him and deport him rather than having to go to his house where we risk hurting him, hurting ourselves, or hurting a civilian. But in the jail, it's a secure facility. They've already been checked in. and it's much easier, but they won't even cooperate with that. Why doesn't these sanctuary cities, guys, want criminals who are hurting their citizens out of their cities? Why?
Votes, man. Future votes. Future votes.
Those criminals don't even vote, though. These are, we're talking about like the Nicaraguan gangs, and the stuff like that. They don't vote.
Well, now,
like,
can Trump withhold federal fundings of these states? Do we know that or not?
Oh, of course he can.
Yeah, he can.
He can find a way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or slow walk it. There's different things he can do.
Well, no, in the Chicago mayor, wasn't he the one that said if they would charge, or if I understand correctly, they would charge the ICE officers?
Well, he talks a lot.
Now, who are they?
I've
Who-
never heard
something to that effect.
What do you mean by they, Dobie?
the ICE
That-
officers.
that Chicago would he would have the ICE officers charged if they come and deported an immigrant.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, which you can't
Something
do.
to that effect.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck
He's
with
gonna get himself. He's gonna get himself. The guys, it's gonna be a drastic change tomorrow at noon. A drastic change.
Yeah.
Because did you guys watch any of his inauguration rally today? Did you guys see any of it?
I caught the
I did
last little bit of it.
He played a pretty funny video. You remember Full Metal Jacket? Mm-hmm. When the drill sergeant's in the barracks going, "You will not laugh, you will not cry, you will learn by the numbers." You remember that guy?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he would play. He go, "Well, there's a new sheriff coming to town." He goes, "Watch this," and that guy's doing his shit in there. Like, "Where's your war face?" Ah, remember?
Yeah.
That's not a war face. This is. Remember that part?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's playing that, and it says on top, Trump's new policy, and then all of a sudden they see a guy on there putting on lipstick with a rainbow makeup on and thing. It says Biden's policy, and then it'll go back to Full Metal Jacket, and then it'll go back to a guy in a dress, and then it'll go back to Full Metal Jacket.
Oh.
It was hilarious. The crowd, 20,000 people were rolling.
It's got to end up on YouTube.
Oh,
have to look for that.
Yeah, I'll
just
look it up
Google it
and
right
get
now.
off
You
there.
can see the whole thing. Yeah, it's great.
Hey, on the sidebar now, here the Trump is giving TikTok a 90-day stay.
It's exactly what he did this morning. My son woke up and said, "Damn it, TikTok's down." I'm like it is, but I think Trump's going to give it a 90-day repeal because all Trump wants is, think about this deal, guys. He just wants 50% ownership to be
Yeah.
American,
Yeah.
and then 50% something else. And he says, and we're not going to pay for it. They're just going to give it to us because they have no ground to stand on. It's gone if they don't. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And he's talking to the 20,000 people. And everybody's laughing. So if they will give 50% stake to us, and then the other 50 to whoever wants to buy it from the Chinese, take it away from the Chinese control, he says TikTok can stay because and this is the greatness of him, dude. He realizes people make money on TikTok in America. Mm-hmm. He realizes young people love TikTok. They love watching videos. He realizes this, but he realizes the security threat. So he's trying to eliminate the threat, yet keep the revenue for people who use it and keep the younger people happy who got him elected. Remember, guys, every different black, white, old, young, every category was increased this time, voted for him. More young people voted for him. More black people, more Hispanic. So he's just looking to reward and keep things. Plus, it's a moneymaker, so he's a businessman. So he gave him 90 days, dude. So I think something's going to get figured out because a lot of billionaires are looking at it like they want to buy it. You know? Different guys. So anyway. But yeah, so TikTok got a reprieve, Slow. So you can still watch the videos, bro.
Yeah, really.
You might want to watch some turtle videos.
Well, I'll tell you now something funny, though. Watching YouTube, I watch YouTube probably 90% of the time, is showing these TikTok people, the young people, crying because they don't know what to do. TikTok's going away. It's our community. It's our way of life.
Isn't that so soft?
And they're
Isn't it
crying. These are guys. Talking about these are guys.
soft. It's so
Well,
soft.
kind of look like guys.
They're Biden for Harris guys. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're just crying because TikTok's leaving.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Oh,
it's
well.
terrible. They're so soft. There's nothing important in it. If that's the most important thing in your life, that an app went out. I mean, what does the matter with you? I don't understand too because YouTube has videos you can watch. Doesn't Instagram?
Facebook.
Doesn't, I don't know.
Facebook
I don't
has
use all
videos.
that stuff, but
Yeah.
Anyway, so Chicago's still doing the same thing. Brandon Johnson's not doing anything about it. It kind of gets old because we know what's going on. But the thing that I keep coming back to is they keep electing the same people who allow this stuff to go on. They could squash this crime if Chicago PD was let loose, and they could do things like they did in New York back in the day. Remember, guys, the stop and frisk? But, oh, no, it's too aggressive. Too aggressive, the guys carrying guns and murdering people? I just don't understand why they allow it to continue to go on. But the last thing I'll say about it, in my opinion, when you vote for people like Brandon Johnson and put him in office, you get Brandon Johnson policies.
Yep.
So shut
that's
the
like
fuck
you,
up and deal with it,
Come
or
on,
start
exactly.
voting different.
You
Hey,
vote
before-
for them and then you complain about it.
Before we
Right.
leave the Chicago thing, I got some stats for everybody if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Okay, 2024 final total or final tally for the Chicago stuff. Shot and killed 538 people. Shot and wounded 2,444 people. Total shot 2,982 folks. Total homicides 610.
Good grief. Hey,
And
that's
now-
almost the population for here in Mitchell County.
Yep. And now for the first 19 days into 2025, they've had 21 shot and killed, 65 shot and wounded, 86 total of that, and 23 of them have been homicides.
If I just did my math right, that's 8.1 people shot a day.
Yeah.
And it can't be. That's a gun-free city, right? Can't be.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. So the shooting, the 6 people in 6 hours, was low. Because
Yeah.
usually they're shooting eight a day. They only shot 6 a day. So
Yeah, maybe they're
I stand
celebrating
corrected.
that, yeah.
Hey, they're starting to crack down.
Yeah, a gun-free city, and that's happening.
Yeah.
A gun-free
figure.
city.
Yeah.
'Cause
Is that
having,
not
having
the-
a
I
gun
What's that?
inside city limits is against the law.
Right. And that slow, good point. Think about this. It's illegal to have a gun in Chicago. It's illegal to shoot people in Chicago. It's illegal to murder people in Chicago. It's illegal to rob people in Chicago. But they think more laws will stop it.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? What other law can you make? Everything's illegal. But people do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, riddle me that one, guys. I
Yeah,
have
that's-
no idea what they're thinking about.
Yeah, that one's above my head.
Well, see what it is. All they've done is take the guns away from the good people, the
Law-abiding
civilians,
citizens.
That's what they
Yeah.
wanted. That's the key.
creating more victims.
Yeah.
That's the key. That
Well, you
is
know, you look at
exactly.
you think about how many people you've stopped, arrested, or charged, or for buddies that stopped and charged, so on and so on over the years. How many of those weren't allowed that were convicted felons
Oh, yeah.
and drug dealers? But they had them.
Yep.
They had them.
Man, I can't remember who made that quote. Some famous person says, and you guys may know what it is. Fill me in for this. I can't remember what I was just read just the other day. It said you have to teach the bad guy to be scared of the victim. They're not scared of the police. They're
Yeah.
not scared of the courts. They got to be scared of
I've
the
heard that. I
victim.
can't remember. What
Oh
I've heard,
no,
but yeah,
you're
I've
exactly
heard it too.
right. That goes back to the target hardening. If it's, so, do you remember the old joke? And it's a joke, but it's I think it might stand kind of true. It might have some it might be valid. So the signs in your yard, if people see a person with a Democrat supporting Democrats in their yard, odds are they're for gun control. Odds are they're a disarmed home.
Oh,
As
exactly
compared
right.
to
Yeah.
if you see a Trump sign, I think you could pretty much bet the farm that guy's got a gun in the house.
At least one.
And, yeah, I mean, at least one, right? And therefore, you might want to pick the next house. I think there's some validity to that, because people saying don't put the signs on your lawn for a lot of reasons. One, if you're a Trump supporter, because then your house might get vandalized. But if you're a Democrat, you put it on, they might know you're for gun control. I mean, there's a lot of there might be some validity to that. I'm just saying, what do you guys think?
Oh, I think
Oh, you're exactly
Oh,
right.
yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And I tell you another thing too works, and I can't remember the extra percentage of, but the top 3 is a giant dog house in your yard.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a dog,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have a dog.
Let me go with that. A beware a dog sign. You don't even have to have a dog, just a sign.
Right.
Or people say put those alarm signs out in front of your house. This arm alarmed by ADT. This arm is alarmed by so and so. That way they think you have an alarm. Because when I was policing guys and I was doing bike patrol, we did a lot of crime prevention shit, right? And the 3 main things were lights, alarms, and dogs. Those were the 3 things. If you
Yeah,
had those
lights, you
3
never want
things,
to turn.
yeah, if you do those 3 things, and your bushes cut back and stuff, all that stuff. But if you do those 3 things, odds are a bad guy will go to the next house because he wants it dark.
Hey,
He don't want no dogs.
in case point, Mike, Larry Harden, detective Gastonia PD. I sit in as a secondary a detective. He is primary, and he's interviewing this guy that broke into some houses. He said, "How do you pick your houses?" And the one thing he said was, "We look for ones that have alarm systems."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So even if you don't have an alarm system, but you get one of those fake signs from the mall or something, put it out front. And if you have an alarm, you're like,
Well, they don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
So
So
they want it to be easy.
Yeah, so I can go next door and rob Dobie's house because there's no alarm sign and avoid Hound Dog's that has an alarm. It's just less chance of me getting caught, right? Or avoid Slow's house because it says, beware a dog, or in your case, beware the duck in the pond, right?
Yeah,
Beware the bird.
beware the duck.
Beware the duck and the bird in the house, and go to the next house. So I think there's some validity to that, and that's what we used to tell people back in crime prevention days when I was doing it back in caveman days. Yeah.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So Chicago's still off the hook, and thanks for the stats, Hound Dog.
Yep.
And folks, if you want to see it, just Google Jackass Chicago, literally like it sounds, JACKASS Chicago, and it has all the stats you want to see because somebody keeps a running tally on everything from where people are being shot on their body to how many dying to women, men per hour, per minute. I mean, it's a total breakdown of the stats of Chicago, and it will drive you. You won't believe your eyes. You won't believe your eyes. Jackass Chicago. Just Google it. Go to the site.
Oh,
Since
10,
you brought it
10
up.
headshots. 10 headshots this year.
10.
10
Hey, so
headshots.
they're getting better aim. Hey, so that used to be another joke. We used to always say, let's teach the bad guys how to shoot because they're always shooting at each other and missing.
Yeah,
We need to teach them to shoot.
Yeah, they're hitting innocent people.
Yeah.
It's so wild. Yeah. You mean
See,
10
that's
headshots
another-
in the month of January?
Yeah,
Hound Dog?
yeah.
Jesus Louise.
See,
Hey, that's the way to
another
get
thing
ahead.
See,
got
it's,
jokes, folks.
it's pretty
I
cool.
do have a duck story now that you mentioned it.
So what Rod was telling about
right.
the headshots right quick. There was
Guess Hound Dog don't care about the duck.
well, we
The headshots didn't duck.
But they should have ducked.
there was 14 shot in the arm, 14 shot in the torso, 22 shot in the lower body, and 4 shot in the unknown. What the hell
that
unknown
hurts.
is?
The unknown. Whoa, that's weird.
All right,
And
go
100% of them was shot with
go-
bullets.
Go ahead with the duck.
Go ahead with your duck
Well, it's
story.
old news now.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Please
Playing
call me
cards with my
Steve.
brother's kids.
I don't know if this is crime
Tommy Steve.
cop related ducks, but I'm just saying.
Well,
Look who
everybody
we're
knows,
talking
listen to the podcast.
It's a duck hole, not a rabbit hole.
The duck
Don't go down the duck holes.
Don't go down a duck hole,
The
Slow.
duck lived at the house before I did. I bought the house. The duck is already here. And outside the house, of course, in the yard is a pond.
He's a squatter. Yeah.
Yeah. He's, well, let me tell you a side story. Now, the pond has aerator in it. The aerator quit working, and the pond froze completely over. So that's the only way the duck can get away from predators in the water. So I spent 2 hours yesterday, breaking up ice. It's 3 inches thick. So the aerator started working, so that duck have enough room to swim around without any
You do have
predators.
Look at you, man.
You do
Look
have
at
a
you,
heart,
man.
Yeah,
It was 3 inches thick. He could walk across the pond. It was unbelievable.
Peter's going to give you an award.
yeah,
Hey, you need to contact some of your turtle friends.
yeah. I'll send
no.
I'll send turtle friends up there. They can become duck friends.
They can hook you up slow.
Hey, the animals have a pipeline. They might already know that Slow's cutting ice for the duck. Telling you. Animals know.
Well, let me tell you, this duck has survived 2 dog attacks, an owl attack, the hurricane. So he's hardcore.
And slow.
Yeah.
And slow.
Yeah,
And
slow.
yeah.
Well, that's one reason I rode all the way a 1 hour drive to Marion to get duck food today. 40-pound bag of duck food. One of the reasons. But anyway, side note, okay, back to
I'm
police
impressed.
stuff.
I got one more question about that, though. Are you making that a soft duck? Because the duck used to have to survive without you, and now all of a sudden you're giving them handouts like it's fucking welfare. You might be making
Like
that
it's in
duck
a
soft.
sanctuary city or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden you stop feeding it, the thing's going to shrivel up and die. Ooh, where's
Tell
my
me the
food?
EBT
He's gonna
card.
be waiting in the pond. Hey, cut this ice, bitch. You know?
I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you exactly right. If I hadn't fed that duck by noon, it's at the back door. Seriously, quacking at the back door.
Damn. Like a cat. Once you feed
Yeah.
it, it's over. Jeez.
Yep.
It's a nice thing, Slow, but you went.
Oh, it's raising hell at me at the back door until I go out there and feed him.
You made him soft, dude. You got a soft duck now. That's what I'm
He's a
saying.
Democratic.
That duck's hardcore, man. He survived.
He's a Democratic duck now.
Yeah.
All right. So, ready to move on, guys.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
talk about across the pond since we're on ducks. What a segue.
Yeah, talking about ponds.
Because pond now. Here we
Yeah,
go. Across
yeah.
the pond. You know how I like to touch on Europe a little bit because everybody in America thinks, oh, we ought to be like Europe. And no, Europe is going into the toilet.
There's a reason we
It
got away
is.
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
British police now are accused of political correctness, like we didn't know that already, and they're failing to record the ethnicity of criminals
Yep.
committing crime. And the particular criminals that are committing crime are these Muslim guys in these rape gangs. So apparently, one of the stats here is it used to be they wouldn't report the ethnicity of certain crimes about 11% of the time, and now it's up to 28.7% of the time. They're not listing the ethnicity of the person. And folks, the reason ethnicity meaning Muslim, African American, white, whatever. Just so you know what we're dealing with. So the suspect is a blah 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 blah. You can't say the suspect is just a man and not give some kind of a characteristic of how they look, because you don't know if it's a white guy, a black guy, a Latino guy, a Chinese guy. You got to add some factors in there, and it's not racist and it's not all that. The problem with this is, apparently, as I read the article a little bit, what I read between the lines is there's a shitload of Muslim-type crimes going on, especially in the sexual assaults.
Now, as the bad guy or victims, the Muslims?
Bad guys.
All right.
Bad guys. Yeah. I know there's a big run on Muslims raping younger women. I'm talking 14, 15, 16 children, rape gangs, and it's really kind of disgusting. I'm not going to go crazy into it, but all levels of crime, robberies, shoplifting, and they all show it's like it's a policy of not reporting.
Yeah.
And again, hiding reality, hiding the truth in order to continue a destructive policy of letting these guys run loose. I don't care if Muslims move to Britain. I care if they're committing crimes and hurting people, right? You should do something about it. Law and order. What happened to that? Why is Britain giving a pass to these guys? They came here, they came to their country, legally or illegally, let's say, right? And they're committing crime in higher numbers because they're a very small percentage of the population, right? They're a minority in Britain, yet they're responsible for a big chunk of crime, and no one is calling them out for it through the police reporting. And I have a problem with that because
I agree.
It's just going to keep going down until it's going to hit rock bottom. And just to let you know, the mayor of London is a Muslim. His name is Saquon something.
Really?
A Khan or something. And and they elected him, right? So this is what you get. But that England's really out of whack, because also, I remember the last podcast or one before, we mentioned how they were locking people up for social media posts.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that said, "Hey, this guy who assaulted my daughter and blah 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 should be locked up forever. He's an animal." Well, that person got locked up and got more time, I think 3 years, when the other guy got 1.5 years, who actually did the crime.
Isn't that crazy?
Freedom of speech is, you better really, really, for people who live in America, you better appreciate your freedom of speech here and the Constitution, because in Britain, it's gone. They're locking people in Germany. It's gone. They're locking people up for social media posts. Can you imagine? Britain, they lock people up for praying outside an abortion clinic. Lock them up for praying.
Yep.
What do you
Isn't
think?
that crazy?
Talk to me.
Oh,
about
yeah,
this. This is
and we
crazy.
are certainly lucky to be here in the United States of America.
God Almighty.
I just saw a thing on here that says foreign criminals reoffended over 10,000 times in 1 year after being released from jail in Britain. That's a
Recidivism.
lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Recidivism rate.
I would hate to see what it is in America. Because
Right here, Muslims make up nearly a fifth of all prisoners in Britain.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
And there's a reason for that, because they're committing the crimes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. And those are the ones they catch.
Yeah.
You know how many crimes the average rapist rapes 8 times before he's caught. That's something I've
Yep.
always remembered from back when I was policing.
See,
They
that's,
can
that's
sexually
a lot of
assault
people don't
8
get
people.
that. They don't get that fact that
Yep.
these people just think it's not their first time.
Yeah, so when anybody says he was arrested for a sexual assault, oh, well, it's a one-off. Probably not.
No, it's not.
It's the first time he got caught.
Yeah.
Because rape is a
There's a
particular
difference.
crime. If you're going to do it once, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can
Not
tell
something
by...
you just wake up one day, hey, I'm good.
Right.
Rape this girl.
And not only that, but you could tell by the elements of the crime sometimes, how they do it or how it comes about. A clumsy one, I get that. He said, she said thing, that's one thing. But when you have a legitimate rape, a girl is beaten and that's not a first time. That's not a one-off.
Yeah.
That's
Because
ridiculous.
they build up the courage, and once they start, then they get braver, more brazen, and more brazen. The same thing with like an arsonist. They get
Which
more
always
brazen,
leads them to
more
get
brazen.
caught because they get comfortable
It's like-
and they start making mistakes.
It's like with serial killers. That's the way serial killers do.
absolutely.
Yep. The one thing we could all rest assured, and I think we can agree, you never retire a successful criminal. Because if you continue to do crime for a 30-year period like we do policing, you're going to get caught. You can do the perfect crime, but just karma will get you, because you could have done the perfect murder and you're driving and all of a sudden there's a police license checkpoint. Oh my God! Out of nowhere, or somebody hits you in an accident and all of a sudden your car's disabled. You got a body in the trunk. Like you could do everything right, but something's gonna not be right, and you're gonna get caught at some point.
I tell you, that reminds me of a pet peeve of mine.
There's too many factors you can't control.
Right.
I tell you, that
The
reminds me of a
unknown.
pet peeve of mine is people that they'll see a cop on the side of the road and they'll flash headlights at you, warning you about the cop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Google's doing the same thing. People report to Google. I'm going down the road the other day and have my GPS on. It said police officer ahead.
Oh
You
yeah,
wanna
that
know-
Waze. The Waze.
It won't know
does
if I
that.
seen it or not. Answer yes or no.
You always
The
put
way-
And I
no.
tell
Waze
people to do
direction.
that. Yeah, I tell people to do that. What if he's saving you from getting a speeding ticket? But what if you just left your house? You're past that cop. You see him. You flash your headlights. You're on your way home, and somebody just killed your wife and family. Had just left there, and you flash. Hey, there's a cop up ahead that's looking for him,
Yeah.
and he turns around and evades the cop, and you help the murderer of your family get away.
Yeah,
Right. Yep.
that's quite possible.
If I'm using that Waze app to go somewhere and it flashes that up all the time, it says police officer report ahead or cop report ahead. Is he still there? Yes or no? I always
You
put
say
no.
no.
Every
Yeah, I've
time.
done the same thing.
Every time, put no.
And this is over in Tennessee where it happened. Actually, on 226
Yeah.
Highway 26. I'm sorry.
The other side of the coin, now, let me play devil's advocate. The other thing is, if the speeder sees a cop up ahead, he's going to slow down.
True.
Yeah, true.
Like it will slow him down to not get a ticket. That's all.
Yeah.
But just a point.
Because it was put.
Because we're balanced on this show, right, guys? We're like,
We are.
we're fair and balanced. Okay.
right.
The scales of
For
justice.
the uncommon
are.
people.
Yeah, we're blind.
For the uncommon people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like you read that off there, Double D.
Yeah. Who told you that?
Somebody
Where'd you hear
told
that?
me that.
The voice of the uncommon people.
It says so right there in my notes. We have to talk about it.
It's right here.
Look at my piece of paper.
Someone I know.
I'm the
told me.
producer.
Someone I know told me.
All right,
I tell you,
guys.
I was listening to Micro podcast today. I was just traveling, and they had a cop from L.A. who started in 1996. I know for Hound Dog now, we're already policing 10 years then, but he's already retired. But he's just telling the cop stories and talking about administration stuff, and any cop can tell you. It sounds like certainly he's saying as if he was talking about Gastonia PD.
Oh yeah.
Talking about administration and what they have to deal with, and you don't want to get a complaints. And talking about amount of officers now that won't do anything because they don't want to complain. It's easier to not do anything, to get a complaint, and not to deal with administration. It's much easier just to go out there and not do
blind.
the job.
The blinders on.
Administration. Too much of administration is more concerned about their next promotion.
Oh, that's
True.
100%. 100%. A lot of people back when I was policing who had any kind of rank, the majority of them would base their decisions on getting promoted and not base their decisions on what's best for the department, their people, their subordinates, whatever, their peers, public. Yeah, it was always what was politically correct because they didn't want that to be the roadblock to promotion. And that's it.
And the thing about it, I think it's getting worse.
I wouldn't know because I'm out of it and I don't give a shit anymore.
That's right.
That's the great thing about all those. Then we're all out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
I'm
just say
We
a
don't
year
answer
ago
to
was-
administration
a year ago was
anymore.
getting-
We don't answer to nobody. That's why I talk all the shit I talk.
A year ago, it
Well, that's
was
why I
getting
didn't get
worse.
promoted past captain too. So I mean, I screwed up. I started that a little early. Should have waited a little bit longer. But
I can say a year
Couldn't
ago
help
it was getting worse.
yeah, well, I'm sure it is because I still have contacts back at CMPD, and I see some of the people getting elevated to positions. And it's like we talked about. Like the people running over there in the LA fire, the fire chiefs, the 3 fire chiefs, the 3 lesbian females, and and that's fine if they're good for the job, but they're not.
They're not.
They're not. They're heavy. They're overweight. They couldn't pull me out of a fire. The one lady said, they said, "Could you pull a guy out of a fire?" She goes, "I shouldn't have to because it's his fault. He got himself there." She
Exactly. I
literally
seen
said
that very
in my-
thing.
Did you see that? That's like me
Really?
saying, "Hey,
Holy cow.
can you save me from a robbery?" Oh, you put yourself in that position. No, so it's
Yeah,
your
you
own
should have
fault
been
you
in
got
that
robbed.
bank when the guy came in.
Yeah,
Oh,
she literally said
you
that.
can't save you from a home invasion. You shouldn't have been at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You put yourself in that. You didn't lock your door or something. You know, like it's really blaming the victim. Blaming the victim.
Dang.
Are we not supposed to blame the victim?
You-
Anyway.
Hey, the four of us, we are the victims.
Yeah.
That's right.
Of what? I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good.
I thought it was the voice of the uncommon
Well,
people.
shit.
So anyway, yeah, but again, a lot of the stuff's going to get straightened out tomorrow, man. That's going to be great.
Yeah, it will be.
A lot of DEI stuff's going to go away, and hopefully the notorious, based on merit, the best man or woman for the job, or lesbian or gay guy, I don't care.
Yeah.
The best person for the job gets the job.
Yep,
That's it.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
And you can't argue with that
Now, well, they do though. They say it's more important
because
to
they're
have
allowed
equity.
to.
Yeah, exactly. They say it's more important to have equity. The other quote, I just got to say this. The other quote is that same lady, fire chief lady who's making 500,000 a year, said the other thing is people who are victims of fires want to see people that look like them fighting the fire because it makes them feel more comfortable and more related to. And I'm like, what? So if I'm a guy and my house is on fire, I need a white man to put the fire out. It can't be a black guy, or it can't be a black female. I need a white guy in order to feel. No, I want the fucker with the hose and the water.
Yeah.
Dumping it on
the
my
fastest
house.
person here.
Yeah, and pulling me out if I can't get out myself. Yeah, or it's like women I talk to. They say, you know something? They say, Rod, if you're whooping my ass, I don't want to see a 120-pound female police officer coming to save me. I want to see a 300-pound gorilla pound you in the sand.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and wash you down the fucking sewer. You know? She goes, how silly is that? I go, I'm telling you. This
And
is
who
how it is
wouldn't?
now.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly. If I'm getting my ass whooped, I want a 300-pound guy coming and whooping the guy's ass and
Yeah,
whooping my ass.
absolutely.
I
Well,
don't
how many
want a female.
times in these democratically run cities, one of the administration people, they get carjacked or robbed, and all of a sudden they change their mind. They're all
They
for the police
changed their
then.
tune. That happens a lot. That happened a couple times. We had it on the podcast. Oregon had a couple of situations. California, where politicians were carjacked or robbed. One lady had her nose broke, and she says, "Where are all the police at?" Then all of a sudden, they show a tweet she did last year
Yes,
or
I
during the
remember
20s,
Yeah.
and she wanted to defund the police, and then someone replied, "I guess you defunded them." Yeah, and that's the best karma. Now, I'm not knocking women in fire work or in police work. There's places for that. I have no problem with, and in the military, no problem with that. I'm just saying, if the best man for the job for carry that 80-pound hose is a man, and he does better than a woman, he should get the job, and the woman maybe should do some other position in the fire department,
And
Or
vice
be
versa.
Or
I mean, if you got a woman that's qualified, she's the person for the job.
Perfect. Or detective. Maybe a woman's a great detective. Perfect, because she's smart, she's articulate, she can talk, she can speak, she can interrogate and interview. I'm all for it. I had great women doing that stuff.
And I've seen that actually work. And you can't take the sex out of it. You can't. Biologically, it's women and guys are different.
Right.
And I've seen a female detective woo a bad guy over just because
Sure.
she looked nice and she smelled
Sure.
nice and he's wanting to impress her and he's
Sure.
wanting to give her everything
And
she wants to
smiles.
hear.
She
Yeah.
smiles at him.
Oh, yeah.
Softens him up. As opposed to me walking in there trying to talk to the guy. It's like, yeah, really. So there's a place for everybody, but the best person for the job.
Period.
It's very simple. Yeah. Okay, 58 minutes.
Hey,
Can I
okay.
do one more?
No, I got something to bring up right quick. As a
Damn the
producer.
hell. Not a duck.
As a
If
producer.
it's about a duck, it's a negative.
It's a turtle.
I can cut you guys off.
That's true.
talk for a whole hour.
I talk a tough game, but I got
How come there's not a black guy or a girl on our show?
Oh, that's true.
3 old white geezers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
with
what
that?
somebody,
Guess
that's
I'm
what
the
somebody
youngest.
said, wasn't it?
There's 4. Who's the young guy?
I wasn't counting myself.
Yeah, the oldest guy on the show. You're not counting yourself.
The oldest
Yeah.
and most geeziest.
Yeah, and thanks, Rob, for pointing that out.
Is
By
that
the
an
way. Thank you
official
very much.
word?
If our show becomes popular, they're probably going to point that out. Bunch of
It
racial
just
diversity.
happens. It just happened to turn out that way.
Yeah. Well, Buck was on there, and he was kind of Indian, right? Lumpy kind of guy. At least
Everybody
that's what
thought
we
he was
call him.
freaking Mexican. His hairline
and the-
started right here.
Exactly right. His forehead was here, as mine is up here. Yeah.
And everybody thought he was Hispanic.
Yep, they did. And that would have helped the show, you know.
Oh, I
maybe
told
maybe hang a picture on your fireplace mantle there, right behind your head, a big picture of Buck.
Buck's
Well,
head.
you know, I
Buck's
told
head.
Buck he couldn't come visit me up here in the mountains during apple season. They'd have him on an orchard somewhere picking apples.
Damn, we're getting on. All right, back on point. Last thing, we're about at the hour mark here. We'll see how things go.
I got one after this one too.
Okay, sweet. So last one I want to talk about, if it's okay, is Biden's clemency going out the door is getting out of control. Again, this is the day before administrations change, and he has now pardoned 2 violent criminals who killed a police officer in Virginia, and the governor of Virginia is calling him out for it, which is going to do no good, but at least he's bringing attention to it.
Yeah.
So a guy named Ferrone Claiborne and Terrence Richardson actually admitted and confessed to killing and brutally murdering Officer Alan Gibson of Sussex County Circuit Court. They confessed to that in Sussex County Circuit Court. Claiborne and Richardson were acquitted of the 1998 murder because of a technicality, but they did admit it. But they also went to prison for life sentence for unrelated drug charge. Well, Biden has now commuted their sentence and gave them a pardon. So 2 guys who admitted to murdering a police officer are now free, not taken off death row and given life, are free
Walking the streets.
from prison. Right. And I just wanted to mention it. It's quote, a U.S. attorney. What makes this even more unconscionable is the Biden U.S. attorney advised the White House not to commute these sentences as they are violent offenders. So people in Biden's administration said not to. He did anyway. And
Does he even remember doing it?
I'm just livid. Can I say he probably didn't do it? It's probably the people around him are writing all these people up, and they're putting paper in front of him, and he's
And
signing
he
it.
signed it. Blind signing.
Yeah. But
Absolutely.
anyway, so guys, I just wanted to comment on that. I just can't stand it. It drives me crazy because we all know officers who have passed. I've been to too many police funerals, and they're going to continue to happen. You know, when the Vietnam War ended, the 52,000 people who died, and we all sad about that. But no more are going to die in the Vietnam War. It's over.
Right.
Policing never ends. We have people dying every year across the country, and it's going to happen forever. So we can't have a wall. If we do, it's going to be a wall that's going to have to. Well, we do, but we have to keep expanding it because it's crazy.
Yeah, I kind of a caveat to that too, Rod, is that was done when? 1988?
Yeah.
And they really still have not really been punished, really? I mean,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like they say, when they say that they're still violent offenders, that means their prison record probably looks atrocious too.
I mean, that's been 36 years ago.
Yep. All right,
and
Hondo.
still just nothing.
All right,
What's you got, HD?
This last one I got is it's a good one to end this show on. It's a funny one.
We'll determine that.
Okay. How about I'm just going to read it. I'm just going to read it straight from the headlines and straight from the article.
Okay.
I think I know what he's talking about. If it is
Drunk man joins search for himself. So a drunk Turkish man spent hours helping a search party look for a missing person before realizing that it was himself that was missing. Bayam Matu, 50, from the northwestern province of Belarus, had been drinking with friends when he wandered off into the woods. His wife was unable to contact him, so she and her friends called the police. They formed a search party, and Matulu came across the search party and asked to join them. They said sure. And one of the searchers called out his name. He said, "I'm here."
Present.
While they're searching.
Found.
Right here I am.
You know, he's thinking, what's the coincidence of us looking for somebody that's got the same name as me?
That's amazing. Hey, where was this?
funny.
Is that a foreign country? Is that in
Yeah,
America?
Turkey. It's in Turkey.
Oh, it's a Turkey. Turkey.
Bessemer City. So the bottom line, the moral of the story is, if anybody up on Shootout Mountain sees Slow Ride wandering around the woods, just holler his name and he'll say, "I'm here."
Yeah. Check his ID real quick. Make sure you're not looking for him.
Hey, again, a sidebar of that is when I first moved up here, I'm walking, all the roads up here are dirt, and they go over to the top of the mountain. I'm walking and just just to see what there is to see. And one of my neighbors, I'm the new guy, but he stops on the side by side and he's questioning me. And after, he figured out, I'm a new guy here, just moved in. He started apologizing. I said, brother, don't apologize. I'm glad you checked me.
Oh, yeah.
I might have been the bad guy. I might not have belonged up here. Yeah, no, don't apologize for checking me, man. I'm glad you did.
Yep.
No, I do the same thing. I'll
And
see a
they
guy.
think he still doesn't belong here.
Yeah, I'll see a guy walking by out there. I know he doesn't belong in the neighborhood. And he looks kind of sketchy, kind of like a guy I would view as a homeless guy, kind of cutting through, looking into up people's driveways, looking in their garages. And I'll put it out on the site. If I can't get to him and talk to him myself, I'll put it out on our little site. And I'll describe him, white male, about 50, blue coat, blah, blah, blah. And so people know. If they see him, they can at least keep an eye on him. If they're not comfortable talking to him or whatever, they can keep an eye on him. Other people will try to post stuff like that, and they refuse to put in his race. Because I don't want to be like that. Be like what? Descriptive?
Yeah, you need to know.
Some places have started going.
What do you hide? How do I know who you're talking about? Yeah.
Some places have gone to saying, instead of saying white, they'll say, I've seen it around here, they'll say whiskey male. Bravo male.
Whiskey.
That's the four of us.
Yeah, instead of saying white male, they say whiskey male.
Really?
Yeah, or bravo.
Yeah,
male.
we're four
Or
whiskey
bravo
males.
female.
I just say dark skin, black male. I don't care.
Yeah.
White male.
Excellent segue, guys, to whiskey. Any last comments on the whiskeys you're drinking?
Whiskey males.
Bullet is bullet, man. I loved it too. They drink it on Yellowstone, so
Yeah, nice rye, and it's good
So
peppery,
when you gonna get your cowboy
spicy.
hat, Rod?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When you get your cowboy hat, Rod?
My cowboy hat.
Yeah, so since you're watching Yellowstone.
That's true. Oh, dude, I love it. 1883 is coming back too in February.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to keep.
Somebody said,
1923.
what's that one
I'm sorry.
with Billy Bob Thornton? What's that one?
Landman.
That's a
I've
good
heard
one,
that too. I
too.
haven't seen it yet.
He's badass, dude.
Yeah,
Billy
he
Bob
is.
Thornton's a badass in that show. Yeah.
But on my whiskey, this one here, the old
Raleigh. Yeah.
the bottle is better than the whiskey.
Yep. It's I Dream of Genie bottle. It's fucking
So
cool as
it's
shit. Yeah.
and to be 100% honest, I hadn't drank any of it since I take my second taste. It was awful.
That needs to be a follow-up whiskey after you get a few shots in you. You see, you'll about drink about anything.
Well, maybe a mixer.
Oh, yeah.
Mixing it.
Mixer, same thing with this Jim Beam Winter Reserve. It's a mixer at best. It's not what I hoped it would have been.
All right,
It's
Dody
pretty
Dawg.
solid. It's pretty solid. It's got a little bite, but it's solid.
What's it again?
Old Forester in 1807.
It helps you turn around.
Yeah.
Turn around. There you go.
There you go. Old Forest, 1897.
Bottled in
Cool.
bond, so it's 100 proof.
I got a gift pack of this for Christmas,
Uh-huh.
and it has this one, and it has the Prohibition, and I can't remember the other one, but there's three of them in this little gift
Nice.
pack.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's going in the infinity bottle.
All right, Slow. Do your producer duties and wrap this shit up.
Save our jobs.
No, I'm not sure why the music's not coming on. There you go.
Because the button guy screwed up. And who would that be?
The producer.
You.
Well, I'm
Wait,
not over pushing
he's
buttons.
down there for me.
He's
down
over
there.
here for me.
Oh, he's down there for you.
I'm always on the bottom.
Hey, is this
I'm just
Studio
impressed he didn't
77?
have
Somebody
Knob
tell me.
Creek.
Is this Studio 77?
For the uncommon people.
It is Studio 77, and
all right, there
drink
you go.
responsibly.
And let's
If you
drink
like
about
to
it.
see what you heard, please comment down below. We answer and look at every comment that you send us. If you want to hear or see something on here, you got a question you just want to ask cops, you get an honest answer from cops. Ask us. We would like to know your feedback, and please hit their subscribe and like button.
Uncommon people.
Voice of the uncut. That's right, Dody Dawg.
The voice. And let's drink about it. See you next time.
Take care.
Sir. All right. You mean it's over? Well, shit.